Have you ever noticed how some people will study less than you and but will still score better?
So my name is Giorgio Bakin. I'm a second year medical student who's technically transitioning to third year. And kind of a second point, I just want to be able to like retain information well so I can take good care of my patient, have a system that like accomplishes that goal. My MBA, last MBA was 3 weeks ago because like 3 weeks ago I like finished my dedicated and started transitions and that score was a 50%. And then going backwards, I had like a 51, 45, and 35. It was like 3 weeks every week. And ideally, I would like to just see 268% or above before I take step one. And before starting the course, I definitely see I was not doing a good job of like just maintaining knowledge. And I do think I was just using Anki. Like I feel like you might see it when if you scroll down to like the screenshots. I was just doing the Anki index, and I feel like I was getting to like 1,500 a day and just not retaining anything. Some procrastination as well, and I do tend to overthink, especially on the neuro questions. I don't know if it's just because I was a neuroscience major and I just think too much.
Have you ever noticed how some people will study less than you and but will still score better on like
Mm.
tests?
Yeah,
Or like, people that like maybe aren't as smart as you have already passed step one and they're like starting clerkships today.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know why that is?
Honestly, I have zero clue.
Okay. Would you like to know?
Yes, that'd be
So
great.
it's not intelligence, I promise. I mean, obviously there's some degree of like intelligence, but that is not the thing that makes the biggest difference. The thing that makes the biggest difference is that when they study, all of their effort is actually going towards the things that are holding them back.
Hmm.
Whereas other people, when they study, they'll kind of study the wrong things, kind of like what you were doing with On King. You were studying a ton of stuff, but maybe you were only weak on a portion of it. And maybe that thing that you were studying wasn't actually moving the needle as much.
Okay.
And so, what, like, for example, you've probably been in both of these scenarios where it's like you knew, let's say that you needed to know 15 things, know 15 things, have 15 skills, whatever, in order to get a question correct. But you were missing like two of them. You can still miss the question. Even missing one of those things, you can still miss the question. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like you ever then it's like I knew everything, but like, oh, there was this one
The
thing that
one
I didn't know.
thing. Yeah.
Right. And then sometimes it's like we don't know most fields. Like we might know two of those things, but like we don't know like 13 of them.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the key is that in both of those scenarios and everything in between, we want to be able to spend our time efficiently so that our effort is actually going towards the things that will make us miss both questions now and in the future.
Hmm.
So this is what we call the shopping list. If you're a medical student or a doctor preparing for either the USMLEs or COMLEX or one of your medical board exams, then be sure to sign up for our free 14-step program where we'll walk you through the most efficient ways for you to improve your score in a short period of time. And if you're interested in getting there faster, be sure to book a free call with our team where we'll break down what it is that's holding you back and, if it makes sense, explain how it is that we can help you to get there more efficiently. I'm just going to go through and we're going to quiz you on some stuff. All right. So 62-year-old man is in the ICU. Okay. So the fact that he's in the ICU, what does that tell you?
Telling me that's something like acute and like fatal potentially, or like where he's very, very sick, I guess
Yeah.
would be
So
the
between
easiest.
context, chronology, and severity, this is telling us more about what?
More of the context. Or I guess
Severity.
severity, actually.
Yeah.
Severity, yeah.
Perfect.
Severity.
Great. Now, 6 hours after a large anterior STEMI. So do you know why they told you that it's 6 hours after large anterior STEMI?
But maybe to like kind of mention like what could be happening after 6 hours, or like what could be the effects of a
Yeah.
STEMI after
So I can tell that you're brilliant. You're a brilliant medical student. Because you said an answer that didn't really say a lot, right? Like you can't really be wrong with that answer, but it's also not very
But,
precise.
yeah,
So I want you
that's
to
true.
put your nickel down, and I want you to tell me precisely what you think this means. It's okay to be wrong, but I don't want you to be vague.
I would say that's like at the point where I would see cardiomyocytes dying at 6 hours.
Great. Yeah, there we go. Great. So you can kind of see, right? So the concept here is that we need to know that a large anterior MI leads to a loss of contractile mass. And so that's going to lead to a decrease in cardiac output.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, does like we got to be honest with ourselves. So this is really important. So most of all of us are going to try to protect our ego when we see these things. But protecting our ego is the opposite of protecting our score.
Yeah.
Right? The more that we kind of think, oh my gosh, I know this. Oh yeah, I know that. That's fine. The harder it is for us. We're making it for our future self to do well on the test. So let's be honest. So did you know, were you pretty certain that that's what that meant? So you're kind of kind of iffy.
Um, I feel like I would have maybe gotten there with a little bit more of a question, but maybe not the first thing I thought when I
Okay,
read it.
great. Perfect. So this probably should be on our shopping list. This is literally what those people are doing when they are getting a high improvement in their score in a short period of time. This is it. Is they're just
Okay.
making a mental catalog of all of the things that they're like, oh yeah, no, I'm good at that. Oh yeah, no, I'm not good at that. Oh, I was really strong in that. Okay, not so strong in that.
Okay. So focusing like on the little pathways, but I wouldn't necessarily know, or
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
exactly.
confident.
Where did I slow down? How about this? If I gave you a bunch of CVP, wedge pressure, cardiac index, SVR, mixed venous, could you tell me exactly what's going on based on those things?
I think with a PCWP, because it's like left atrial pressure, with a cardiac index, I would be able to figure it out. SVR would, and same with mixed
Okay, so
venous.
in this case,
Sometimes.
what's going on? What's going on here? And tell me why.
So it looks like has elevated pressure in the left atrium
Hmm.
with it just looking at PCWP, sorry.
Hmm.
His cardiac index is low, which would mean that he's not pumping as much blood. Um, with his SVR being high, that would make sense because he's having vasoconstriction um, because of his shock, or something's probably causing the SVR to go high, which would probably be vasoconstriction. Mixed venous O2, I guess I'm actually not very confident in that one.
Okay,
Um,
great. So again, we would add that to the shopping list.
making, yeah,
Okay, good. But can you tell me?
I mean,
So what you're doing is you're reporting, right? And you're interpreting it a little bit, right? You're like, cardiac index is low, SVR is high, which makes sense because you've got vasoconstriction. Not surely what's going on with the mixed venous, and I know that the left atrial pressure is high,
yeah,
but you're
this,
not
yeah,
really putting it all together. Fair?
yeah,
Now,
yeah. I'm not creating a story. Yeah.
and that's okay. That's okay. It's just that okay, so again, our goal is to figure out where are you going to the people that improve their scores dramatically in a short period of time, right? The ones that leave the library before everyone else and still score better. The major difference between what they're doing and what the rest of us is doing is that they know exactly what it is that they need to work on.
Hmm.
And so they don't waste time on all the other stuff. They only focus on those things. And so they can get
Yeah,
more done in less time, legitimately.
yeah, makes sense.
That's it, right? Okay, great. So we've identified that when you see a panel of vitals from the Swan-Ganz catheter readout, that you're like, ooh, I know generally what these things mean, but I can't put it together quickly
Yeah,
and confidently. Generally, when people are making 50 cards a day, and they're still not getting there, it's because they're just making a bunch of cards. They're not making cards that are targeted towards the exact reasons why they missed the question,
oh, okay,
right?
that makes sense.
Or they're not doing a good job of anticipating what the reasons will be for them missing the question in the future. Now, based on what we just said, what kind of cards or card would be perfect for you to never miss another histopathology question again in intestinal?
Creating a card that had the histopath and seeing what's it looking at.
Great. And would it be to make only one card on one condition or a bunch of cards on all the possible intestinal or rectal conditions?
I'll probably making sure I get that one well, but also like others too. Maybe even the one that I was confusing it with. So
Perfect. Yeah. Right. And also celiac disease and whatever,
yeah,
right? Like Whipple's and right. So do you have histopathology cards on all of the different conditions?
Not really. I think I added the image as an part of the answer, but not
I
directly
know.
asking
I thought. Yeah, I
pathophys.
thought. And you made it a part
Yeah.
of your PC card. But again, you
Yeah.
didn't have something specific for it. So it's good. I would still keep it as part of the PC card. And
Mhm.
I'd make like 20 image cards on like the 20 GI histopathology things that you might see. So just
Yeah.
go through first aid and find all of the GI things. If you
Okay.
did that, do you think that you'd get a lot more questions correct?
I would not miss a single histopath patient
Yeah,
again. So
exactly. Right? Right? So it's like, so I think this is kind of the issue is like you're learning like 13 of the 15 things, but you're
yeah.
not making cards on those two things. And so those two things just keep hammering you again and again and again. So that's it. Like that's the game. You are close. You are so close to improving your score at a much faster pace. I'm super excited for you. I think like I love seeing you doing the cards. I love you seeing, that you're like breaking it down. Now let's up our game with making the shopping list and then following through and just being brutally honest and ruthless with finding and fixing any of the sort of systemic gaps that you're finding when you have questions.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense.
And I want to see 80% like in 3 blocks or 2 blocks as opposed to like 6 or 7 or 8 or 9.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's
That
how
makes
we'll
more sense.
that's how we'll tell. Right? Is like, okay, did you make really good cards on all the first aid stuff? And are you making cards that are specifically targeting your weaknesses using your shopping list?
That makes sense. Yeah.
Cool. All right, Georgia, really good to see you.
What if you could walk into step 1 already knowing you'll pass? The secret? They stopped blindly copying what worked for others and started using a proven system that actually fits how step 1 works. In my next video, I break down the exact 10-step framework that virtually guarantees you'll pass. Not through luck or grinding harder, but through a systematic approach that just works. Click here to watch how to virtually guarantee a step 1 pass and get the system now.